All right. This. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know what this is. Algebra. Algebra. I don't know what that means, but algebra is not my friend. Hey, Tina. Currently looking you up on the living room TV. Oh, I get to be on the big screen. Oh, no. Hey, how do my new fingernails look on the big screen? All right. This is hilarious. Oh my gosh. It's weird being live on my own after being live with you all the time for the past couple of weeks. So it's a little bit weird. It's also weird being live when there is so much light in the room because I'm an hour earlier than usual. So yeah, usually I have to like have my light on and figure things out because it's so dark in here. But not today. Today it is nice and bright and early. So, what have you been up to? What are you doing something crafty today? Crafty in the craft sense, not crafty in the like cunning, crafty and cunning. I was doing a little bit of research, Tina, you'll appreciate this. Yesterday, I have a client that I'm doing a craft room for, and she does two kinds of crafts that I didn't know anything about. And so I had to like do research and see like what kinds of space she needs, what kinds of tools are even involved in this craft, what kind of supplies and things she would have. Do you know anything about Cricut or fake bake, like fake bake stuff? I learned a lot. I'm not working on any projects. I do want to clean my room, but that's not crafting. No, no, it's not. Yeah. So Cricut is kind of cool, but you need a lot of stuff to do it. And I didn't know how to say it. I'd heard of it before, but I didn't know how to say it. In my mind, I was thinking it was Cricut, maybe, but then she was like Cricket, and I was like, oh, is that how you say it? Cricket. Yeah. So I was doing some research on crafty things because I'm not very crafty myself. So I never heard of fake bake, but Cricut is the machine that cuts words out, right? Yes. Yes, that is exactly what it is. And you can make like all kinds of stuff with it, like t-shirts or like all kinds of stuff, cups, like sticker things to put on stencil things, sticker things. It's kind of cool. But it seems like there could also be a lot of different supplies and stuff that she'll need to keep and use and have available. So yeah, I was doing some research. Yeah, you say it like yes, like the little bug, crickets. Yeah. Yeah, in my head I was saying Cricut because I didn't know how to say it. But yeah, cricket. So fake bake are those things like they're made out of clay and maybe plaster or clay or plaster, maybe not both, but they look like food. They're like hard decorative stuff, I guess, that look like real food. So you make them in like molds and it looks like, and you decorate them like cupcakes and cookies. And like I suppose you could even do like cookies or fruits and vegetables, maybe you could do. It's all kinds of stuff like that. So I also had never heard of fake bakes. Um, but yeah, yeah, she showed me some stuff and it looks like real cupcakes, like real cupcakes. And when I was looking up the like what you use to make it, a lot of it is like frosting tips and like pastry bags to pipe frosting and stuff. I was so close to typing in your name and then I accidentally cleared everything. Why don't all I don't have a voice thing you can talk into. Soon, that will be the technology that everyone will have. Those of us that don't have it now will have that technology soon. Yeah. Yeah. My TV, I don't know if my TV is broken or not. So, do you remember, did I tell you guys a couple weeks ago when the smoke came out of my TV when the electricity went crazy? Um, but then the TV worked and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's just some weird, like whatever it was, it didn't fry the TV." But I noticed last week or the week before, whenever I was trying to watch Love is Blind, um, sometimes the Netflix didn't work. It would keep like cutting off, like just exiting on its own. And I don't know if that was like a problem with Netflix. It wasn't, because then Netflix on my computer worked, Netflix on like everywhere else worked, just not on my TV. So I don't know if somehow my smart TV, like, I don't know, blew up and it can't handle being smart anymore. It's just a regular TV. I don't know. So I have not been doing all that much on my TV lately. Oh, yes. So it totally killed my washing machine, but it did. Well, I didn't know that it affected my TV either. And I'm still not sure that it did, other than there was smoke coming out of the TV. So something happened. There was smoke coming out of the TV. But the TV itself still works. Like I still get all the channels on the TV and it's fine. It was just I was having trouble with Netflix last week on the TV. So I guess maybe that's a sign that I don't need to be watching Netflix. I need to be reading all of these books I got to read before the end of this month. No more Netflix for me. No more Love is Blind, right? These people are going to have to get by on their own without me for a couple of weeks. Yeah. So are you reading today, Tina? Or what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to clean your room. And it might just be you and me for a while. Because I think because Mika is on my time, and so she's probably not going to be around until for another hour. So it might be you and me. Are you reading? What are you going to do today? Has your reading been slow this month? Mine has been so slow. I finished my third book last night. My reading has not been slow. I've read one, two, three, four. I've read 5 books and I will finish. I'm 90% of the way through my 6th book, so I'll finish it tonight. So it hasn't been slow. It's just I have these nonfiction books for the BookTube prize thing that I have to get through because, of course, I saved them all for the last minute to read because I was reading like a bunch of other stuff in February. So here I am in March trying to read all 6 of these nonfiction books, and some of them are kind of long. And so far, all but one of them I've loved. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm reading The Dog Who Knew Too Much by Krista Davis, but I might start something else and I'll just be doing things. Oh, doing things I normally wouldn't do if my parents were home. Uh-oh. You realize this, they could come back and look at this YouTube and find out what you're doing. Yeah, but they won't. Yeah, so I'm going to read. I'm going to finish, probably in the first sprint, I will finish the one book that I'm reading that I really like. And I didn't think I was going to, it's none of these BookTube prize books are books that I would have picked up off the shelf, probably. One of them, maybe. But the one I'm reading right now, I never would have picked it up off the shelf. I would have thought that sounded stupid. But it's really, really good. And whenever I can start talking about it, I'm going to tell people to read it because it was really, really good. So I'm going to finish that. And then I'm going to start on the next one. and see how far I can get into it so that I can hopefully finish it before the end of the weekend, before Friday, before Sunday. You were on the TV. Eeks. I don't know. I don't know if I like being on the big screen. Oh well, it's the way it is. I have not been outside yet today. It's the biggest disappointment of my day so far because it's a gorgeous day. And I knew it was a gorgeous day when I woke up and opened the shades. And I didn't do my normal, like, walk around the block this morning because I woke up late and I was just busy. And my idea was I was going to, before I did sprints, I was going to take like an hour-long walk in the afternoon. And that did not happen because 4 o'clock comes a lot faster than 5 o'clock. Go outside during the sprint. Maybe, but I got to finish these books. And if I go outside, so there's nowhere to really hang out outside near my house, near my apartment. It's like street. So if I go outside and I'm gonna go somewhere, like I have to go somewhere, and then it's kind of a bit of a hassle when you only have a limited amount of time. And I see people walking around outside and they're wearing coats and things. Like they're wearing coats. And so I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I want to like put on my coat, my hat, my all of that. So maybe when we finish, because I think it'll still be light outside. It probably won't be warm, but it'll be light outside when we finish sprints. And maybe I'll go outside then if I'm not starving. Make dinner. So that's my plan. That's my plan. Okay, well, do you want to start a sprint? Should we do 45 minutes? Because that puts us up at the top of the hour. I think we should do 45 minutes. That way I can definitely finish my one book in 45 minutes and then decide what I want to do during the second sprint. And maybe the second sprint, I'll just take a walk around the block and come back. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, what do you think? 45-minute sprint? Okay, let me do the little banner and get ready. We'll check. We're reading until the top of the hour. Save. Hang on. Save. All right. Let's go. I'll see you in like 45 minutes. Okay, it's the top of the hour. And I finished my book. Very exciting. All right, and I see Christina is here. Hang on, let me see. Where are we going? Okay. Hey, Christina. Thanks for hugging the like button. How are you? Cricket is my phone company, or Cricket is, yeah. It's also crickets. Cricket is the crafting. We say at the end, like cut. So cricket, 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 cricket. The bug and my phone are cricket or cricket. Cricket, cricket. I know it sounds like Tina is going to be like doing stuff she shouldn't be doing that her parents wouldn't approve of, but I know she's not too. Yeah. I just made the bed, wishing I didn't, as climbing back in sounds delightful. Oh, the past couple of days, I have been like putting off making my bed in the morning, thinking, oh, maybe I'll have a chance like to get back in, and I never do. But yeah, I do like to sleep. Hey, Christina. I meant more like I'm going to reorganize the living room and then put it back before they get home. No way. Is that what you actually did? Yay for finishing my book. Tina, did you actually reorganize the living room? Because I feel like that your parents might be super excited about. No? I had something to eat and read 5%. Okay. I I I read probably, I guess, the last 10% of my book. Very, very good. And then I went and got out. I'm making a baked salad for dinner. So I got out. I need to chop up the vegetables at some point. So I went, I washed them, and I set them out. They are all ready to go. No, you didn't. I used to, like, when I was, I don't know, in my teens, I guess, and younger. One of my favorite things to do was like reorganize the bedroom, right? My bedroom. It was the only thing that I had any control over in our house. And although I feel like if I'd wanted to rearrange the furniture in the family room, my mom would have been like, knock yourself out. I don't care. But my bedroom, I was constantly rearranging it until my mom bought us water beds for Christmas one year. And you can't just like rearrange a room when there's a water bed in it because like you can't move the water bed, they're too heavy. So yeah, I feel like I don't know. I like rearranging rooms. I like moving things around and seeing how they look in different places and how it gives like the whole room a completely different feel. So I think you should rearrange everything in your living room just for fun. Yes, me too. Although I suppose I don't do it so much anymore. Uh, except that's not exactly true. My bedroom, I do a little bit, but there's only so many. It has like a weird configuration, my bedroom right now. There's like a window in a weird place, and then a closet with mirrored doors, which I feel like you don't really want to put your bed in front of a closet with mirrored doors. Um, yeah, so like there's only really like two walls that are free, and one of those walls is in front of the mirrors, sort of, because then they're even like, I don't know, it's just a weird, it's a little bit sad because there's not really very many ways I can rearrange my bedroom. But my office, I can move things around like however I want. And my living room, a little bit. It's pretty small. And like there's one, two, three, there's doors or windows on every single wall in the living room. So it keeps that from being very versatile as far as furniture. But I love rearranging my room. Yeah, and that is my job. So I get to do it for other people when I maybe can't do it for myself. So yeah, yeah, I do like it. I do like it a lot. Yeah. So I just realized today that I'm going to New York in like 2 weeks. Yeah. I feel like it's coming up really, really quick. It seems like it was a long time ago when I started planning this trip. And now all of a sudden, here we are. Yeah. Mika is here. Hello. Welcome. We did one sprint already, Mika, and I finished a book. Hey, Mika. Hey, Mika. So what else? It's still sunny here. This is all still natural light coming in from the window. But I see the wind has picked up a little bit. And people are starting to come home from work. I can see them arriving. So, yeah, it's really close. What are your plans while you're there? So I have a couple of jobs booked. I would like to book a couple more. And I need to do a little bit of like research shopping for a couple of clients. And so what am I doing for fun is what you really wanted to know. I'm having dinner with some friends. I will have drinks with some friends. What is all of this? Somebody, let me quit that. I plan to do as much wandering around the city as I can. Like my favorite thing I love to do is just like walk around the city. Like not really have any place to go and just sort of like go wherever I see. So hopefully the weather will be wonderful when I'm there and it won't be raining all day every day. And I can just like wander around. I think that's probably what I'm most looking forward to, other than like getting together with friends and people that I haven't seen for a while. So yeah, but that's I don't have any plans for fun. I don't know that I hardly ever have plans for fun. I like to let fun just happen. I should plan it because if you don't plan stuff, sometimes it never happens, right? And I mean, I'm in the US for like 6 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. And there's got to be some fun in there somewhere. Sorry, I keep looking. There's these people, they keep pulling all kinds of stuff out of their car, like flowers and like all kinds of things, food, and it's super windy. Sorry. Oh, now they're hugging and kissing. Okay, time to say goodbye. Yeah. So I'm excited. I love New York. It's like my favorite city in the whole world, including the city I live in right now. I love New York. I love New York. Sounds like fun. It does, right? Just traveling to another country is awesome. Yeah. And I was super excited when I booked my ticket that the flight that I was able to get was on the Dreamliner, which I flew the last time I went to New York. And I literally flew in the back of the plane. Like I wasn't by the bathroom in the back, but I was in the coachiest of coach, right? And I felt like I had so much space. Uh, and it was a full flight. Like people were sitting right next to me. We were all, it was full, but I felt like I had so much room. And so I'm like, it's the Dreamliner. It has to be, right? And so when I was looking for tickets again, I was like, if I can get the Dreamliner, that's the plane that I definitely want to take. Because even being in the way back, I was super, super comfortable. So that's my tip of the day. Dreamliner. If you're going to travel internationally, try to find a Dreamliner. I've never been to New York. I have to go. I've only been to 4 states, including driving through a couple states to get to Kentucky. Well, if you ever get the chance to go to New York, I think you should go. I think everybody should go. You either love New York or you hate New York, but I think you should go to find out which type of person you are. Sorry, not including drive. Okay, so 4 states, not including driving through states. We went to Florida for Disney World, of course. Lived in Kentucky and Pennsylvania and went to the Jersey Shore. I'm surprised you didn't zip into New York City when you were at the Jersey Shore. I mean, it's not much of a zip, but it could have been done. Yeah, I have no plans to go to I've been to the Jersey Shore once, and I was like, no, no, I've been twice. No, I've been 3 times. Once in college, which I think doesn't really count. Somebody I went to college with had his family had a house at the Jersey Shore somewhere, and a bunch of us went like the week after they graduated. I was a year behind them. And after they graduated, but like a group of, I don't know, 10 or 15 of us went and stayed at their house. God, I forgot all about that until just now. And then I've been once in sort of, the weather was bad, and all I remember was walking on the boardwalk and maybe like trying to find a place to buy some saltwater taffy. Like I barely remember it. And then another time I absolutely remember, we drove there to go to the beach, and it was hot, it was a sunny day, and yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I don't know that it was a long drive, a couple of hours in traffic of all the people leaving the city to get out there. So it was a long drive. And I don't know that it was worth the long drive, but it was hot and sunny. And we had tacos. I remember having tacos at the beach, and they were delicious. We used to go a bunch with my friend's mom, would take us for the day all the time. My parents don't love this. Oh, okay. So my parents don't love the city. So going to a busier city than Philly was not on their wish list. Hey, Josie, how are you? What's going on? How is it going today? Yes, the saltwater taffy and the fudge and the lemonade that has like sugar at the bottom. Yeah, all the crappy food that you're supposed to eat at the Jersey Shore. Yeah, I love saltwater taffy, and I do love fudge, and I do love lemonade. And the more sugar in the lemonade, the better. Although I do like a very tart lemonade as well. Saying hello. Ah, so I think, well, Josie just got here. We have to say hello. Josie, tell us how you're doing. What's happening? What have you been up to today? And Mika too. We haven't heard like what's going on in Mika's life today. I was getting ready to start another sprint, but no. We have to say hello and chat. What's going on? Oh no, I have some back pain today, but I just got back from a physical therapy appointment. Hopefully with physical therapy, it will go away. Yeah, for sure. So you're going to relax and take it easy then. Or do you have like stretches and like do you have exercises you have to do? Back pain is not a fun thing. I mean, any pain is not fun to have, but I feel like back pain, you really can't move, right? Ooh, I'm sorting diamonds for the next picture. A brand new one you're getting started on. This is cool. Very cool, very cool. I am going to start a new book, and the next book that I'm reading. Can't tell you what it is. It's a secret. It's my next secret. I have 2 more secret books to read this month. So I'm going to start the next one. All I can say is it has a blue cover. Yes. And it's not a book that I would have chosen to read. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We will see. I haven't decided on a book to listen to yet. Okay. I'm also a bit stressed out because I have to finish Fourth Wing soon, and I have to read 3 chapters a day to do that. Wow. You and I are in a little bit of the same boat. I'm not with the Fourth Wing, but I have 2 more books. Hang on, is that right? Is it 2 or 3? I have 2 more of these nonfiction books that I have to read before the end of the month. And I'm not too stressed out because I think I feel like I'm going to be able to do it. But this month, I also wanted to read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, like Mika recommended. And then I also wanted to read What the Dead Leave Behind, that like somebody else recommended in a reading sprint. And I don't think I feel like I might not get to either one of those at all. No, that's not true. I am. So my goal is to finish the book that I'm starting tonight. My goal is to finish it by Sunday or Monday. And then to start the last secret book I have to read and finish it before I go to the US. And then I can read Evelyn Hardcastle and What the Dead Leave Behind for fun on the plane. And yeah, basically on the plane. Because once I get there, I think there's not much time for reading. But yeah. So I've been holding off on the book I really, 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 really want to read, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, until I finish the books that I have to read. Oh, that's why you have to read it so quickly. It's a library ebook, and I don't normally read more than 2 chapters a day when I'm not in a time crunch. Are the chapters really long? Like maybe you can read your 3 chapters during reading sprints today. I'd started a book 2 weeks ago, but then I had to interrupt that to read the book our offline crime novel reading club was reading. And now I don't feel like reading the interrupted book. Well, did you like it before you interrupted it? Or were you just kind of feeling meh about it? I feel like crime novel reading club, that seems like a cool thing that I might want to be in. Like, because I don't read crime novels very much, and I feel like a reading club where you just read crime novels and talked about like the crimes and stuff. Although, isn't this our cozy mystery thing that we keep doing? Maybe I am in a crime novel reading club. They're just cozy crimes. Okay, 10 to 15 pages each chapter. So if we do 2 more sprints tonight, maybe you can get through like 2 more chapters, 2 of your 3 chapters. I don't know anything about this Fourth Wing. Is it part of the I'm going to say this wrong. Court of Thrones and Roses? Did I just make that up? How do I know about this Fourth Wing? Is it part of a series that I'm supposed to know about? That I probably do know about, but I forgot about? Because I feel like I keep hearing about it. Is it a standalone or it's part of a series? It wasn't bad, but I just don't feel it. I guess I'll just browse my ebooks and pick the first book that jumps out. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. How many ebooks do you have on your Kindle or your tablet or whatever to choose from? Is it like hundreds, thousands? I I've actually read 3 chapters today. I have to read another one because I only read 2 yesterday, but I do wanna get a bit ahead. Yes, you can definitely get ahead. Getting ahead is great because someday you might wanna, like, go to the beach, although you would read at the beach, wouldn't you? Someday you might wanna go to the movies, and you can't read at the movies. So it's good to be ahead. Plus, then you can sort of get into it. Like, I feel like once you start really, really getting into it and you're on a roll, you just keep reading. Oh, okay. Fourth Wing isn't a part of Court of Thrones. It's a fantasy romance in a series. All right. What's the name of the series? Because I thought it was part of a series. 100. Okay. You got hundreds of books to scroll through. What's the series? Because, oh, Fourth Wing is in the Empyrean series, different from A Court of Thrones and Roses. All right. I feel like I have never heard anyone say the Empyrean series. I'm probably saying it wrong. But I have heard people talking about Fourth Wing, Fourth Wing, Fourth Wing. Is it the first book in the series? Because A Court of Thrones and Roses, that's the series, right? And maybe also the first book. I don't know. I feel confused. I'm not a big fantasy world reader. But again, these are books I feel like I should probably read because everyone is talking about them. They're becoming like the Harry Potter to me, in my world anyway, where I'm like, yeah, those are books that I probably won't ever read, but then everybody around me is talking about reading them and how great they are. So I'm like, maybe I should read these. Oh, it's the first book. Okay, maybe that's why. Because I don't hear anyone saying Empyrean series, Empyrean series. Ooh, many people hate the second. The second is Iron Flame, and the third book was being written last I heard. Was being written last I heard. Oh, so maybe that's why no one talks about the series, is because there's only 3 books. There's only 2 books out, and the second book people didn't like. So if you're reading a series and you love the first book in the series, you hate the second book in the series, will you read the third book? What are your thoughts on this? Or if it's like 5 books in a series and you love the first, the second one is okay, the third one's terrible, will you read the fourth one? Like, what are your thoughts? I think if I like the first one in the series, I'm going to keep reading until there's a couple books in the series that I don't like. And then I won't read anymore. Like Harry Potter, I probably would have read the whole series, even though there were a couple books in the middle that I was like, like I kept reading, right? I want to see what I get invested in these people. I want to find out what happens. I'll keep reading unless like the second book is terrible. The third book is terrible. And I just feel like nothing good is ever going to happen. The second book is often the worst, so I'd keep reading. Yeah, me too. Me too. If the third book is also terrible, I I might not read the fourth, right? Because I might be like, oh, this I don't care anymore about any of these people. If I still care about the people, I'll keep reading. For example, with the inheritance cycle, Aragon was great. Eldest was boring, and I've heard book 3 is great and book 4 is boring. I'm going to read the whole thing just for the good books. Yeah. Yeah, great, boring, great, boring. And you know what? I don't even mind boring so much. Because sometimes you got to get through life to get to the good parts, the more exciting parts, right? So boring, I'm okay with. I'm trying to think what would make me stop reading a book and hate it and never read. If I just like stopped caring about the characters, like if they started doing things that were, I don't know, unrealistic or really like, I don't know, that made me go, that seems out of character. or if they started doing things like, I don't know, in a different world that I wasn't interested in, then I might stop. Like if their whole story kind of changed and I didn't like their story anymore, then I think I would stop reading the series. But if they just go through a boring streak, wow, we've been there. I've definitely been in a boring streak in my life, and I kept reading. I kept going. You got to get through the boring stuff to get to the good stuff. So, yeah, keep going. Yeeps, I haven't read a series in a long time. Because I think the idea of getting into a series right now for me is like, oh boy, then that means like all of my reading for the next however long is sort of planned out. And this year I didn't want to do too much I wanted to plan 1 month at a time, right? That's what I wanted my reading to be planned, 1 month at a time. So I haven't gotten into any series. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. So have you found a book to read yet, Mika? Mika, did you read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle? I think you did, right? And you liked it because you told me to read it. And I am going to as soon as I finish my 2 secret books. I'm in that weird place where I'm like, I just finished one book and I'm just starting another. And I'm like, oh, I kind of don't want to start the new one because like I just finished the old one. But needs must, and we're doing it. I love Evelyn. Oh, good. I am like it of all the books from this month. It is the one that I am most looking forward to reading. So I'm saving it for the plane, I think. So I have something fun to read on the plane. Yeah, that's my plan. All right. So what do you say we do like 45 minutes? We come back at like a quarter after. Does that sound good for you guys? So it'd be a little more than 45 minutes, but quarter after the hour? Is that good for a reading sprint for you guys? I haven't picked yet. I'm writing fiddly tags for tiny containers for different colors. And I feel like you might be doing that for some time. So maybe you can join us in the reading on the next one, on our last sprint. All right, Lula's okay with the 45 with the quarter after. Okay, let me set the banner. All right, we are reading until quarter after the hour. A quarter after the hour. Save. All right. All right, I will see you guys in about 45 minutes. Happy reading. Whoops. All right, that's my alarm telling me, oh, stop. That's my alarm telling me it's time for our break to be over. So, uh, started my book that I can't tell you anything about. And sometimes it's like it started off, sometimes he's kind of funny. Like it's a memoir sort of a book, sort of, I guess. Um, and there are parts of it that's like he's got a very sarcastic, it's a very sarcastically written book. And so sometimes that's funny, but then sometimes it's coming off like I'm coming off a little bit like not great. Not it's like a little, I don't know what the right words are. I get a loss for words, but kind of like whiny, maybe a little bit. Blamey, victimy, and yet like, like in many ways, he is a victim of something and victim. I can't say anything about it. But I'm sort of like find myself having to keep an open mind about this guy. Um, yeah, because the way he's telling his story in a way that I don't like him so much as the narrator because he's just being so like flippant and sarcastic, like mean sarcastic a little bit. I don't know how to describe it. I have to keep reading, right? So, yeah. All right. Didn't read anything or clean or organize. I took the dogs out, and my parents told me about the time they were going to get home. Okay. Are they home? Did they make it? Oh, I read one chapter, very good, and then started looking for clothing and jewelry on Amazon to put on my Amazon wish list for my birthday. Wait, is it your birthday in October? Am I wrong about that? I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. I've sorted all the diamonds and picked my book. All right, a few years ago, I got a German ARC. I'm not even going to say that. I am going to say it. Die Kinder sind König. Yeah. I never got around to it. Last year, I got an English ARC. The kids run the show. Are they the same? I only recently realized that they're translations of the same French novel. That's kind of cool. That's kind of actually really cool. And weird. Oh, they're not home yet. We still have a little bit of time. We still have time on the big screen. Oh, I'm so happy about that. It's in October. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just like to start looking for things months in advance. Well, you like to give people options, I guess. Oh, my Portuguese book is going. I'm not reading it as much as I need to because I need to get these BookTube prize books done. And so that's why I haven't been reading it. Wow. I was gonna say that's why I haven't been reading it during reading sprints, but like I haven't been reading it during reading sprints because we've been reading Anne of Green Gables. But yeah, my plan going forward after this month is over is that anytime I'm on a reading sprint, I'm reading the Portuguese book. That is my plan. And then yeah, that's my plan. It's probably not happening this month. Probably not happening this month. But you never know. Probably not happening this month. But it's good. Like I am halfway through, maybe just a smidge more than halfway. And I'm still liking it. I still wish there was an English translation though, just so that I knew for sure that I was getting the story right. But when I finish it, there are a couple of Portuguese booktubers that have read the book and talk about the book. I've seen their videos. So when I finish the book, I'm gonna like listen and watch their videos to like practice my, Portuguese and my listening and my comprehension, my reading comprehension and my listening comprehension. So that is something for me to look forward to with this Portuguese book. Thanks for asking, Tina. Ooh, I think I'll alternate. One chapter German, one chapter English. Do you have the French? Because I feel like, don't you also speak French? Read French, hear French. It's about two women, a mommy vlogger who films her children all day, and the young policewoman who works on the case when one of her children disappears. Ooh, that sounds super interesting. Is it like a mystery, thriller, suspense? Hmm. Christina's still here. Was laying down as my migraine is still here too. Mm, mm. You've got migraines. Josie's got back pain. It gave me a break yesterday and I got to finish Anne. Oh, what? So this is like your second or third time through Anne. I'm curious, Christina. Um, like how if you had any different thoughts from like all the different times that you've read it, because like I'm just curious what you thought of it this time. But your migraine is back today, not letting me look at screens or words. That sucks. I've never had a migraine and I never want one. They sound awful. They sound like truly, truly awful. Yeah. Oh, my house, it got very cold. My hands are like really freezing, so I have to keep them on top of my hot tea. Because it was like the temperature was, I was quite comfortable when we started this thing a couple hours ago. And like during that last sprint, I started to get kind of cold again. But I just keep thinking in the summer, I love my house in the summer because it's nice and cool. Oh, yeah, I've been back. I've had the heat on at night again and hot water bottles at night because it's been really chilly here. The interesting thing is that both women are pretty much the result of their parents not fulfilling their emotional needs. Yeah. Is the mommy vlogger married? Like, is her husband or wife in the mix on this thing? And this like the children, a child is missing. Oh, Christina still loves Anne of Green Gables with capital letter love. All caps love, hard caps. Oh, good. Oh, good. I think it's going to be less a mystery and more an exploration of modern culture and the changing societal expectations on women. Wait a minute. This is called The Kids Are All Right? Didn't they make oh, The Kids Run the Show. Okay. Never mind. I was like, didn't they make maybe not a movie or something about it? Kids Are All Right. The Kids Run the Show. Interesting. Yeah. Tina and Christina loved it. I'm not sure if there's a father. All right. So there hasn't been any. I mean, you're just starting it. Glad I finished it because I cried. Oh, and that is not something that's fun to do when your head hurts. No. Oh my gosh. So you like a lot of people that read Anne of Green Gables got teary at the end. I feel like domestic and psychological thrillers are what I prefer. I didn't think that I liked that kind of book, but I read a few of them last year and I did really like them. Um, yeah, so that is something that I wanted to add some more. You know what I need? I keep saying there's a million things I need to do and no time to do any of them. But like Mika's crime novel book group, readers group, made me go, I should join like a reading group for a specific genre that I want to read more of, right? Like crime novels or psychological thrillers. Because then that way I'd be guaranteed to read them. And I'd be guaranteed to read like good ones, right? Because normally, you know, book clubs recommend people recommend good books to read for book club. So that's what I should do. But then I think then I have no control over my reading list at all, right? If I join book groups for all the different genres that I want to add more of into my life, I then am at the mercy of the books that they choose and I never get to pick my own. And so, like this year, I want to pick my own books, which is why I'm really only in one book club and then the treehouse, where, like, yeah, we pick a book, but it's, yeah, I'm really only at the mercy of that book for 3 or 4 days, right? 3 or 4 like reading things. If I don't like it or it's not a book that I would want to read, like, it doesn't take up a big chunk of my reading life, right? Anyway, but yeah, I feel like if I joined a book or readers group, crime novel readers group, guess what I'd be reading? More crime novels. Yeah, if I joined a psychological thrillers readers group, I'd definitely be reading more psychological thrillers. Yeah, I'm just in a weird mood. This month has been a weird reading month because of the all of the nonfiction that I've had to read. So that's why I'm in this weird, like, I didn't get to pick my books this month. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, but it's true. So far this month, I have not read one book that I picked on my own. Not one. And I've read 6 books. But I got two more to get through that are not my picks. And then I'm on to Evelyn Hardcastle. For real. When I get on that plane in Lisbon, it is Evelyn Hardcastle all the way. Yep, that is the plan. Oh, really? They often pick books that are not that great, though. And we all hated this month's book. Yeah. Yeah. Normally, my in person book club picks great books, but I feel like the last two have been sort of womp womp. Although, again, the one that we had for my in person book club this month was actually a book that I read years and years ago, and I really liked it years and years ago. And this time I read it and I was just sort of like, "Oh, it's good. It's a good book," which just goes to show there can be great books. A lot of whether you like a book or not really has to do with what's going on in your life. I believe it 100% that books come into our lives in a certain time and we love them or we hate them depending on what's going on. So, yeah. Yeah, I've had a weird run of book club books. Mm. Yeah, I know. I cannot wait but here's the thing, like, I could have read more of the secret books last month, but I had all of these other books that I wanted to read that I picked for myself. So it's my own fault that here I am in March reading a bunch of books that and the books that, like To be fair, the books are not books that I picked for myself, but I've read 4 of the 6, and 3 of the 4 were really good, like, really good, that if I am not sad that I read them um, at all. So, like, it's not like I've read crappy books all month. I've read really good books all month. They just weren't books that I picked for myself. Christina, how many times have you read Anne of Green Gables? You laugh and you cry every time you read it. How many times? Absolutely. And whenever I think back on books, I always think about what was happening in my life as well. Yeah, me too. Like, it really, I do. I believe books come into your life um, for a reason. Some books. I mean, yes, yes, yes. And how you, whether you love them or hate them, really does depend a lot on what's going on in your life. 10 times. Did you read them to your kids when they were young? 10 times Anne of Green Gables. And have you read? Yeah, Tina's going, wow. Maybe a few more than 10. And have you read like all of the books in the series multiple times? Because that's kind of a big deal, I think. No, okay. Have I ever read a book 10 times? I don't think so. I don't think so. I've read a bunch of Maddie Dawson books. Oh, no, this is not true. There were years, last year is the first year that I did not read The Count of Monte Cristo um, last year. I used, oh, for years. So I probably read The Count of Monte Cristo 10 or 15 times. I had like a thing where I read it every year, usually at Christmas, but sometimes I would read it in the summer because I would like have a craving for it. And I didn't read it at all last year. Um, I do want to read it again this year because I like getting into the thing. But yeah, Count of Monte Cristo is my favorite book of all time. And I have probably read it at least 10 times. Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes. I didn't even realize it. I read the whole series maybe 3 times. Wow. Do you own the books? Like, do you have the box set? I've only ever read one book 10 times, and it was Innocent Defined by Lainey Reese, a dark romance. It was a favorite, but it isn't anymore. This was back in your dark romance days. I'm trying to think. So I 10 times is a lot of times. I'm thinking now about like the Chronicles of Narnia. I don't think I've read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe 10 times, but it's probably pretty close. But Anne of Green Gables, the first book, and The Secret Garden are books from my childhood that I reread every so often. That's how I feel about The Count of Monte Cristo. Not, I didn't read it as a child. It's a bit difficult for a child. But maybe I read it for the first time in college, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna reread this every so often. And then it sort of became like an annual thing. And so The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe would be a book from my childhood that I read a lot. And every time I've reread it and all of the Chronicles of Narnia, every time I've reread them, I have enjoyed them. So maybe the Chronicles of Narnia are my Anne of Green Gables to you, right? Like you love Anne of Green Gables every time you read it. Maybe that's the Chronicles of Narnia for me. I read the Harry Potter series at least 10 times too. And I read them to my boys. And the Percy Jackson series, I did too. What's the Percy Jackson series? Also, some of the Oz series. Oh, yes, the Oz books. I remember reading those as a kid, but I've maybe only read them like twice. I feel like maybe I should pick up the Oz books again. Oz, oh, from childhood, not to your boys. Yeah, those are pretty good books. 9 times. We are like repeat customers in this group tonight. I read the Chronicles of Narnia a few times too. Yeah, these are all really like good books. Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I don't know what this is. Are these like childhood books? Books that I should have read in childhood? Percy Jackson. I don't know. I feel like I've missed something in my literary growing up. Huh. Hmm. The first series is Greek demigods, and the second adds the Roman myths. Oh, yeah, I definitely don't know about this. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. They came out when my oh, okay. So I'm too old, and I didn't have children who would have read them. I'm too old for them. Have you guys ever read The Wheel of Time and that series? Because one of my friends really, really recommended it to me, and I haven't. I downloaded the Wheel of Time to my Kindle, but I haven't started it yet. And they're really, really they're big books, right? They're like Outlander big books. But have you guys read any of them? Wheel of Time? Wheel of Time? It's almost as big as Harry Potter. I don't know anything about this. He also has an Egyptian and a Norse one now. Huh, interesting. No way, you're reading the Wheel of Time series right now. And is it easy reading? Is it interesting? What are you thinking? Because part of me is thinking this might be something for me to do, like if I want to pick up a series during the summer, where like all I read is books from that series in the summer. That might be something for me to do. But does it seem like a summertime book? Like, do you know what I mean? So how like Game of like if I ever was going to read Game of Thrones, I feel like that's a winter book, right? Like it's dark and you should read it when you're like when it's dark outside and it's warm. Whereas in the summer, when the sun is shining and the birds are singing, like I don't know. I don't know. So what do you think? Wheel of Time series during the summer. Christina, what are your thoughts? You're on book 3. Oh, wait, the dragon, there's dragons. I feel like this is a Game of Thrones kind of thing. Nicole is almost done with the whole Wheel of Time series. She read them with Coda. All right. Yeah, the Percy Jackson series came out at the same time as Harry Potter. I've never heard of this Percy Jackson series thing. I'll have to look it up. We're doing a read along for Wheel of Time with Coda and Nicole. Winter is coming, Game of Thrones. I know, but it just and not even just that. I did not like I never read Game of Thrones, but my friends tried to get me into watching it when it was on TV. And sometimes they would have like watching parties and I would go just to hang out. And I couldn't get into it. It was like I didn't like it. But it just seemed like the kind of like you should be watching it or reading about it in the wintertime. It was not like a summertime uh, sort of book. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird about that. I don't know. There's like 14 books to the Wheel of Time, so maybe not just the summer. And they're 14 really big, long books too, right? But oh, who knows what's going to happen this summer? I have like dreams of the summer being able to spend lots of time at the beach reading books. So this is my dream for every summer. And like, yeah, every summer I say, this is the summer I'm doing that. Yeah, they finished it. They finished the whole series or just the first book? No, the whole series. They were on 14 when we started one. So, is it a book that you could see yourself reading at the beach? Maybe that's my question. I've not read Game of Thrones, but the Wheel of Time books do not have the same feel as the Game of Thrones show. Just saying. Well, that is good news. Wheel of Time feels more like Lord of the Rings. Okay. So it's like fantasy world-ish, but not dark. And I don't know how to describe like the feel, like you're right, it's the feel of the Game of Thrones show that had me like, well, it was super violent, right? And I don't know if the books were super violent, like some of that they do just for TV, right? To make it interesting for people. But it was just dark. I felt like I couldn't see anything that was going on, which made it a little bit scary. And then, like, the woman was the mother of the dragons. I was like, I don't know how that happened. Like, I just felt like I couldn't suspend my belief enough for this to get into the show. I was like, I can't even, like, I get it's a fantasy land, but this is just, I can't get into this fantasy land. It's not making any kind of sense to me. Tina's still pushing for the summer book club. I could read book 1 through 12 for summer book club. Wink, wink. Yeah, so if I did read a book a week, I could almost finish the series, but they're big books. Tina, it'd be like reading an Outlander book every week. Yeah. Yeah, big books. They're probably way too long to read in a week. I know. But then when I just said that, they're like Outlander books. I didn't read 12 Outlander books because there aren't 12, but over 10 days of vacation, I read however many books were in the Outlander series. Just, I never stopped reading. I was just reading. It was like 7 books on a 1-week vacation. So it's doable. Although here's the thing, it was 1 week, so I was on vacation. I wasn't doing anything but like lounging and eating. So, and reading. It doesn't count. Epic journey. Yes, I feel, all right, we'll figure this out. We'll see what we want to do. People keep recommending it to me. Apparently, the characters are a lot younger than the Game of Thrones books. The woman who's the mother of the dragons is 14. Oh. Again, I was like, how is a woman giving birth to dragons? I don't even want to think about the process of that. I couldn't get into it. I still can't. I have to immersive read it, so it takes me a little longer. But if I focus, I could get a book done in a week, but then I don't have an outside job. Right. So when I did all the Outlander books, right, like I was on vacation. I wasn't like 9 to 5ing my way through life. I was like, yeah, younger in the books. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you can't put a 14-year-old, yeah, there are things that even Hollywood is not allowed to show in the movies. I read all 9 in January 2023. So you read all 9 in a month. Wow. She didn't give birth to them. Okay. She was gifted the eggs. They thought they were fossils and she made them hatch. Yeah, but like, yeah, I couldn't get into it. That she's the mother to the dragons. Yeah. Anyway, Game of Thrones, not my thing. Isn't she like 12 at the beginning? And there's many scenes where she gets great. Yes, this is the other reason I did not like Game of Thrones. It was very violent, and not all of the violence was against women, but a lot of it was. And I just, it, yeah, yeah, anyway. Apparently in the book, she breastfed them. Yeah, all too weird for me. Too weird, too weird. She put them in a funeral pyre and she is fireproof. So that's how yeah. I haven't read it, so I could be wrong. I don't know either, but it made me happy when Christina said that this book didn't have that Wheel of Time didn't have the same feel. I can do more Lord of the Rings, like, yeah, yes, yeah. Well, maybe I won't commit to the whole series, right? Maybe I'll just commit to the first book and then we'll go from there. Maybe it will be a book I read this summer. I saw a scene that I still can't believe that HBO let pass through. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like we don't need to see this stuff. Do we? So far, there's no sex in Wheel of Time. Well, good, because the person who first recommended it to me was like a 14-year-old boy who had been reading it. So, I mean, not that 14-year-old boys can't read about sex. Surely they know everything there is to know anyway. But yeah, he was like, you should read it and then we can talk about it. And I can't imagine that he would want to talk about sex with me. That's embarrassing for both of us. It was a scene that would not have been on Skinamax and probably shouldn't have been anywhere. Yes, I didn't even watch that. And the people that I know who love Game of Thrones, like the people that I was not usually, that I would sometimes go to their watch parties, that kind of put them over the edge too. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of violence. And I get that the world is super violent, particularly towards women, but mm, mm. Yes, I stopped reading because it felt too much like gratuitous violence. Yeah, that's what I don't like. But yeah, the world is a violent world, particularly towards women. So it's like I'm torn between this, well, they're just showing the world as it really is, and why shouldn't we see it? We should be aware of it. But oof. I don't know that grown-ups, like kids definitely don't need to see it, but I'm a grown-up and I'm just sort of like, I don't know. The scene I'm talking about was when someone was peeping in on a brothel and the view shown was an area, that doesn't get shown on cable unless there are some X's in the rating. Like that kind of a thing is gratuitous to me, right? We don't need to see that to know what's going on. we don't need, a close-up view of whatever to know what's going on. Do we? I don't know. I'm not so much for censorship, but maybe sometimes I am. I don't know. I don't know. Is it censorship? Yeah, it is, because we can't let people just when you're not letting people show whatever they think needs to be shown, we are censoring them from showing stuff. But there are things we don't need to see. But I guess that's why I don't watch it, right? I can choose not to watch it, and I do. So, yeah, yeah. Oh boy. Game of Thrones was a long time ago when it was on TV, right? Is it still on TV, or did it sort of died out, didn't it? Or did it end? Like, I don't even know. I know my friends stopped watching it pretty soon after that bloody wedding. Uh, but I don't know if that's because that was the end, or if like everybody stopped watching it and then they went out of business. I understand shows want to embody a certain vibe, but I don't want to see certain body parts on television. Agreed. Agreed. But yeah, I just been like, we can choose what we watch, I guess, is the counter to that argument. And so I do choose what I watch. No, my youngest son has heard so much about it that he feels like he has seen it. Yeah. But I told him he can watch it when he has his own house. Yeah. You have your own house, you pay your own bills, you can do whatever you want. Oh my gosh. Imagine if you were watching that and a child walked in. Because show times are not a thing when streaming, right? And kids wake up and walk in wherever. Yeah. Like now that everyone's what's it called when you record it and watch it later? But we're not even recording it. It's what's it called when like you can turn on a show that like was on at a different time. I can't remember what it's called. And I haven't lived in the US so long that I literally I skipped this whole thing. So yeah, like there is no such thing as like anything before 8 o'clock at night or anything before 10 o'clock at night, anybody can watch, right? Now, and it was like the adult shows come on at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. But now it's like any time of day, there can be adult shows. There was no extremely graphic nudity in the TV show You until season 4, episode 1. Why did you do that to me? I don't want to see that. DVR. Those are the letters I'm looking for. Yeah, when you could like I miss the whole DVR thing, DVRing stuff. But yeah, so there's no like time period because everyone, I don't know if people are still DVRing or I don't even know if people are watching regular TV anymore. I feel like everybody I know is just watching, nobody's watching ABC, CBS, or NBC. Yeah, it was a female body part, and seriously, they don't show that except in porn. Yeah, like my parents still just pick any show and start watching it in the living room. And I'm very shy about what I'm watching around who. And I do a lot of research before I pick a show. Ooh. I don't do a lot of research before I pick a show, but I have no problem not watching a show. Like, okay, the One Day. It's on Netflix now. Everybody keeps talking about how great it is and how much better than the movie it is. And like it's based on a book and how true to the book it is. So I was like, oh my God, well, any movie based on a book is probably pretty good. Or any show based on a book is probably pretty good, right? Because books are pretty good. Yeah, whatever. And I actually liked the movie with Anne Hathaway. So I was like, let me start watching this. Everybody's raving about it. I watched like 5 minutes of it and I was like, this is drivel. I have to turn it off. I can't, this is drivel. So I don't do a lot of research on a show before I watch it, but if I don't like it, I am quick to walk away. Books, not so much. But shows, like TV shows or movies, I'm quick to walk away. Isn't that weird that I wouldn't do it with a book. I would keep reading a book to like see if it got better, even if it's like the last sentence. But a movie or a TV show, if I don't like it, not that I watched that, but I would assume. Right, Christina. You've heard that that's what they show in those kinds of shows. This might sound stupid. As long as I'm watching it alone, I don't care if a show shows any female body parts, just no naked men. Like, please, I don't want to see that. Well, there is something weird about watching romantic encounters when your parents are watching it with you. I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched anything with my mom, but I do remember as a young person, even like when there would be like kissing or something, feeling weird about like sitting on the sofa with my mom when people on TV were kissing and making out or whatever. So yes, I don't think it sounds stupid, but maybe I'm stupid too. Maybe I have that weird little thing about me where it seems I don't want to watch that with my mom sitting next to me. They'll usually show a full frontal on men before they show the female part. Breast for sure, but nothing below. That is true. I don't know that I've ever seen a regular show with full frontal female. I could be wrong about that, but nothing sticks out in my mind that I've ever seen it. Probably because actresses are like, no, no. No. All right, you guys, I was thinking we could do another reading sprint, but I don't think I can tonight. Do you see it's getting dark? I had to turn my lights on. Outlander definitely has some spicy scenes, and they do show some men parts. Yes, but for the women, it's boobs and booty, right? Yeah, Outlander definitely has some spicy stuff. And they show plenty, but there are things that they don't explicitly show, even though you know what's going on. That is spicy. Yeah. German TV is very liberal about sex and nudity. When I was 12, I watched a weekly series about upcoming movies, and they showed a full out sex scene. Wow. My brother and I just froze. Like, I'll just pretend nothing's happening. Yeah. That's surprising to show the actual act. Like nudity is nudity. Like I almost don't care about nudity, but when like if somebody was just walking, like if somebody got out of the shower and they were just walking around naked, like it wouldn't bother me. But the like showing the sex act naked seems like there's just no place for that in regular TV, right? That's for porn. No? Am I wrong? Am I being a prude? Yeah, Game of Thrones they show you like, yeah, way further. I guess that's what people like these days. People like to watch porn without calling it porn. Yeah, like what? Yeah, if we're just going to show all of this on regular TV, why would you pay for porn? unless the porn is getting like dangerous. And there's definitely some dangerous porn, but I think there's just some regular, what do I know? I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about the porn industry at all, so I gotta stop talking. There's a long-running joke that German adverts often show more than American porn. That is pretty funny and kind of scary. It means if I ever go back to Germany, I'm never turning on the TV. I went to France when I was a junior in high school. We were flipping through the TV and our teacher walked in and she was talking to us. So we stopped flipping and she sat down and she was watching it. And I feel like I know where the story is going. Oh my gosh. Europe is definitely, yeah, like nudity is like the beach in the summer, right? We got people running around here on our regular beach. Everything's out, right? And it's like nobody thinks anything about it. And I'm okay with that. But people are not having sex on the beach when I'm like trying to sunbathe. So yeah, America's a Puritan society. But so was Victorian England, although maybe it wasn't. We just think it was. I don't know. Yeah. We do have like a thing about nudity, which is, I don't know, maybe all right. I do think kids, because I think in America, we associate nudity and sex so much. There is no separation. Like in the US, the body is so sexualized, which I don't think that it is necessarily so sexualized in other cultures. Some cultures, maybe it's more sexualized even, I don't know. But it's certainly the naked body in the US is very sexualized, whereas the naked body here, in Portugal, it's just a naked body. It was primetime TV time, so kids would be awake. Oof. See where Game of Thrones took us? I should have never brought it up. Actually, Wheel of Time, I brought it up. And then I brought up Game of Thrones for Wheel of Time. I'll have to look at some of those videos that Nikki and Coda are doing to see what I don't want to get spoilers though, but it would be interesting to get a little more perspective on it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, I think I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go. I'm gonna make some dinner. I'm probably not gonna go on my walk because it's dark and it looks windy, which means it might also be really cold, and I'm already cold enough. So we've been getting into some interesting conversations lately. We have. We definitely have. Oh, readers are the best people to get into conversations with, I guess. All right. Well, is anybody else sprinting right now? You guys want to jump over onto them? Christina, is anybody else going that you know of that you guys can jump over when I sign off and say goodbye and good night and good luck? Nobody knows. I don't know. I don't know. Mika, how far did you get on your diamond painting? Are you still sorting? Ooh, Kat's novel adventure is starting in an hour and a half. Okay, that's good to know. Did you see the second part of that comment? I don't know. The second part of the France comment? Not very far. I'm very slow. You have to be slow, I think, because it has to be like so perfectly placed. You have to be like super careful. No? Am I wrong? The diamond stuff seems like painstaking detail. My laptop is acting up. I don't think I saw the last part of that. So the France comment, you went to France, that one, and then it ended on a and. So I don't think I saw the last part of that. And what happened? And bad things were on the TV, and your teacher was like, "What are you watching?" And then she called your mom and dad and sent you back from France. I made that up. I said, "This looks like a good movie." And there were horses. Oh, what? Going, what? What? Your teacher said this looks like this is not where I thought this was going. Your teacher said this looks like a good movie, and there was horses going at it, and some women too going at it, but not with the horses. But still, it was weird and a big culture shock. Your teacher was like, "This looks like a good movie." Oh my gosh. On primetime TV. I don't want to see horses going at it. Like, no, I really don't want to see that. Ugh. I am not an animal. I'm not, no. And it was prime time there. Oh boy, the things we learn in Europe. Oh boy. All right. Well, you guys, I am heading off. I'm signing off for tonight. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. Thank you for having these like super interesting conversations about stuff that's like random and interesting. You guys are the best. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. All right. I will see you guys. Well, I'll see you on Monday at Tina's sprints if I don't see you on somebody else's sprints before. I got a little bit of work to do this weekend, so maybe I'll find a sprint and do my work instead of read. So anyway, thanks you guys. I will see you next time. Have a good night. The more you know. Do, 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 the rainbow. Thanks for the sprints. Thanks for coming. See you guys. Bye.